Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Walnut Crawdads pregame show. I am your host, Justin DeHaas, alongside my fellow co-host, Kobe Siegel, and I'm sure you guys missed my wonderful voice over these last week or so, but I am back, and Kobe has been holding down the fort in my loss, and I'm sure he has done a spectacular job. And if you've been following the Crawdads recently, you would know that they've haven't lost in a while.
Nope.
It's been since last Sunday, or the Sunday before that, um, Sunday before Father's Day weekend. And yeah, I mean,
Sunday before my birthday.
yeah, it's also very true too. Yeah, Kobe over here turned 21 last week, so hooray to him. But anyways, Crawdads have been winning a lot, but if you think the Crawdads have been winning a lot, you should check out the Humboldt Crabs because they're on a 10-game winning streak. They dropped their first two games of the season, and now, hey, 10 straight going into this game. Battle of the Crustaceans should be a fun one here at Monte Vista High School. And so, Kobe, when you look at this matchup between the Crawdads and the Crabs, what do you see?
Well, according to a Crawdads executive, an unnamed Crawdad executive, the Humboldt Crabs are comparable in talent to these Crawdads. So, while this is a non-CCL game, we've seen the West Coast Kings in the Alameda Anchors who maybe don't have as much talent. These guys have talent, and certainly their 10-2 record. They've won 10 straight games. That certainly embodies how good they are. And now we have some other stats from Carson Mercier, another fantastic broadcaster. So they've been around since 1945. This is their first game versus the CCL team, but versus the CCL since 2018, they're 26-17. So that's a fantastic record. So they are pretty good. For reference, last year the Crawdads were 25-18. So I mean, they might be as good as the Crawdads. So I'm excited for a very competitive game today.
Yeah, no kidding. I mean, the Crawdads have been playing a lot of non-league games recently. You mentioned this weekend where, the West Coast Kings. Hey, I mean, you said, maybe they're not as talented as these humble crabs, the Kings that are, but hey, I mean, they tied the
Yep,
Crawdads
they did.
11-11. And then obviously Crawdads pulled out a victory in the second game, won 7-5, I believe. And so, yeah, this should be a fun one. 2-game set against these crabs. And, you mentioned about their history and how, they have been a successful program. And so it's going to be fun to see them for the first time this season and see what they have in store. But when we're talking about the Crawdads, we got to talk about Cam Calvillo. Obviously, our GM, Austin Oda, says, and I quote, not good in reference to Cam Calvillo's hand injury. It was non-contact, so it's not necessarily like he got hit by a pitch or anything. He was swinging. He felt a little pop in his hand. Obviously, not good, as some people would put it. But, yeah, I mean, obviously, you lose a guy like Calvillo. He has been your starting shortstop for almost every game this year. And, he started hitting near the top of the lineup. I talked to Brant Cummings about this before, and he always said, well, Calvillo is extremely talented. The reason why he's at the bottom of the lineup is not because he's not good. It's because there's just a bunch of other guys that, deserve to be up there too. And, he finally got his chance to be hitting in the top three, and then all of a sudden now we have a injury issue with him. But what do you want to talk about when it comes to Calvillo and potentially a guy like Griffin Harrison filling in for him?
Well, it's obviously you do not want to see that from Cam Calvillo. Not only is he the starting shortstop, but he has been hitting so well. It's just very sad to see. Someone hitting so well. One of the best hitters on the team, starting every day. You see him go down. That's just not good. I mean, he did have a hand injury previously, so this is just not necessarily a good sign. But I mean, we'll see how it turns out. I don't want to speculate, but Griffin Harrison, Griffin Harrison. So yesterday when I was shagging balls with Carson and Austin,
Okay.
so Griffin Harrison's at shortstop, and I mean, let me tell you, his hands. He has some of the best hands on this team, maybe the best. I mean, just so coordinated. He can pick every ball. I mean, just elite hands, if I say so. And so he is playing second base. I think him and Matt King are going to be the rotating shortstops, I would guess. So I mean, Griffin Harrison, the hitting, I'd say he's been somewhat average so far, but I was seeing he's been pretty clutch also.
Yeah, I think the thing about Harrison is he just hasn't had as many ABs as some of the other guys, and now he's going to get the opportunity to get some more of those in Calvillo's absence. And so, yeah, you look at a guy like Calvillo, and, obviously it sucks that he's injured. Like, no one's happy about that. But if you were to look at a silver lining, it's that a guy like Griffin Harrison, maybe some other guys, Matt King, who's new to the team from last week, they can step up and, fill in that role, get some ABs, and prove why they should stay in this lineup for the rest of the summer. And then I think you look at when you talk about Calvillo, well, who was he going to face on the mound today? Well, that would have been Gabe Tanner, a former Crawdad, which, by the way, last year as with the Crawdads, he had a 5.19 ERA and a 1.3 WHIP with 24 strikeouts in 34 and 2/3 innings, which is about 6 starts and a few relief appearances. And then he also pitched at Cal State East Bay this past year with a 5.50 ERA with 78 strikeouts in 70.1 innings pitched. So when I look at a guy like Gabe Tanner, he's consistently at that 5 ERA. I ain't gonna lie, it's not a great stat for sure. But he's a hard thrower, and he's a solid player. It seems like. I mean, what I noticed when I look at these stats is that the strikeout stuff wasn't really there in the summer. Only
Uh, Good ratio, and I think some the ERA maybe comes from hard contact. I don't really know. Maybe it's a little bit of bad luck, but certainly he is. Certainly he is a talented pitcher. According to Mr. Oda, he is a hard thrower. Sits around high 80s, can get up in the 90s, and his slider, while inconsistent, when it's on, it's on.
And I think the other thing too is just the familiarity that you're going to see in this game. Obviously, like we said, Tanner's a former Crawdad, and a bunch of these guys in this Crawdads lineup played for the Crawdads last year as well, and so a lot of familiarity there. So we'll see how that turns out. But when we look at the Crabs and what they have in their batting order, what I noticed when I was looking up the stats, the top 4 guys in their lineup combined for 103 ABs in the 2023 season at their respective schools. So not a lot of experience there, but then you look at a guy like Luke Reese hitting 5th in this lineup, and he's got 138 at-bats by himself this last year with a 341 batting average at Cal State San Marcos. And so personally, when I look at the lineup, again, not much experience at the top part, but then you got a guy like Reese who's got plenty of experience and, arguably might be their best player, yet he's hitting 5th. What do you notice when you look at this lineup?
Well, I think this team has some similarities to the Crawdads. It's filled with guys who maybe at some of the higher D1 levels they didn't get a lot of at bats, but then there are guys like Luke Reese who really hit at those smaller schools. I mean, yeah, Luke Reese 443 on base in 2 seasons at Cal State San Marcos. I mean, not facing the best competition, but those are some ridiculous numbers. So yeah, I mean, these are talented. Just maybe they haven't gotten the opportunities, but that's why they're here playing for the Humboldt Crabs.
Yeah, exactly. And when we talk about these Crabs batters, the guy that they're going to be facing on the mound today is Ryan Spolero, and I actually saw Ryan Spolero in the last game that I covered. That was last Wednesday at Sonoma against the Stompers, and he was a co-player of the game in 4 innings pitched. He didn't allow a run, only 3 hits and no walks. That's a big improvement from his last outing. His last outing was good too. He only gave 1 earned in 3 innings. Now giving up no earned in 4. I talked to him in that post-game interview, which, by the way, you could check that out on the archives on the Crawdads YouTube channel. But I think when you look at a guy at a guy like Spolero, he kept on talking about how he's trying to get that ritual going, and how it seems like he's found a groove a little bit. But he just keeps on improving. What do you see from Spolero?
Well, I think the 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 velocity is certainly there, and I think the key is no walks. The last time we saw him, he was great against Sonoma, and this is his first start since his unbelievable and memorable broadcast with fellow Crawdad legend Sean Fitzmagic. So let's see how he does. I wonder if he's been thinking a little bit too much about the broadcasting. Maybe, I don't know. Probably not. That's not the case. I think he's just naturally a great broadcaster. I think he's going to go out there and shove today.
Yeah, and so as we wrap up this pregame show, obviously you've got the dads who haven't lost in the last 10 days, and you got the Crabs who haven't lost in the last 10 games. And so you've got an unstoppable force versus an immovable object here in the battle of crustaceans. And so it should be a fun one today. Any final thoughts, Kobe?
No. Zero final thoughts.
All right, that's the way you love to end a pregame show. Get everything out there into the world, and that way we can hand it off to our lovely broadcasters, Austin Oda and Carson
really
Mercier.
lovely,
And they are so lovely. And it's 5 o'clock, so we should probably do that handoff right now. For Kobe Siegel, I'm Justin Haas. Thank you for listening to the pregame show.
Welcome back to Monte Vista High School. It's the Crawdads versus the Crabs here. A beautiful day for some baseball. Crawdads coming off their 4th consecutive CCL win last night against the Lincoln Potters. It was a good game. 9-5 was the final in Lincoln. Today it'll be Ryan Spolero on the bump for the Crawdads. The outfield left to right, Cole Fellows, Casey Cummings, Brian Duroff. Infield third to first, Max Farfan, Matt King, Griffin Harrison, Joey Donnelly. And the lineup for the Humboldt Crabs, who come into town with a 10-2 record on the young season. It'll be Mike McKernan in center field, Colby Lunsford at second, Griffin Myers is the designated hitter, Billy Ham first baseman, Luke Reese the shortstop, Wyatt Reginato the right fielder, Javier Felix at the hot corner, Luke Brown in left, and Kawana Suarez doing the catching for the Crabs. Carson Mercier alongside Austin Oda. Austin, it was a good game yesterday. Crawdads, well, they took care of business pretty handily, I would say. They come into a game today in which kind of unsure of the competition level today.
Yeah, I think it's really difficult when you play some of these non-league teams where you can see the talent up and down the lineup. You know the names. Gabe Tanner, former Crawdad, in the starting pitcher for Humboldt today. But like we said, we don't really know how they play against other competition. I was talking to Gabe before the game. They've played high school teams. They've played guys going into high school. They haven't played against much college competition, so I think it'll be a big step up for Humboldt. But we'll see if they're ready to face that challenge.
On the mound for the Crawdads is the right-hander number 16, Ryan Spolero, making his third start of the summer. 1-0 record, 1.28 ERA in 7 innings with 5 strikeouts, just the 1 walk on the year. Here comes the center fielder, Mike McKernan, and we're just about ready for first pitch. 5:04 is the time, about 73 degrees here in Danville, California. Spolero with the first pitch of the ball game is a fastball in there called a strike. Your first pitch time and temperature is brought to you by Meadowlark Dairy, trying to hang on to that Old Town vibe since the early 1900s. 0-1 pitch from the right-hander Spolero is a fastball that misses low and away.
Well, did you say the temperature?
It is 73 degrees.
71 degrees.
That's not what AccuWeather said.
Well, how Accu is AccuWeather?
AccuWeather had it at 73 degrees. That's what I'm going with. The 1-1 pitch from the right-hander, fastball, outer half, called a ball. Mike McKernan, the center fielder from this area in Danville. Went to Chabot, transferred to Cal State East Bay. Spent 3 seasons at Cal State East Bay. This one is fouled off to the right and out of play. 2-2.
I love Spolero getting that first pitch fastball over. Then fell behind 2-1, but is able to get back in the count. Yesterday, Jackson Flora, the Crawdad starter, really struggled with that.
45 plate appearances for Mike on the year, 333 average, 2-2 pitch inside. That'll fill the count, 3 balls, 2 strikes.
A little bit of an adventure for us finding the stats on these Humboldt Crabs. We did not have to pay for a Game Changer subscription.
Non-CCL games have been tough, to say the least. Full count pitch from Spolero. Fastball at the knees, called strike 3. Ryan Spolero strikes out the first batter he sees. There's 1 away in the first.
Spally throws from such a high arm slot, goes from so far over the top that everything just continues to ride throughout the strike zone. That one, a fastball that it looked like it was going down. It was a good frame job by Nico Button on the front end, but still a good spot on the inside at the knees, called strike 3. Really, really good start for Spolero.
Here's the second baseman, Colby Lunsford. First pitch from Spolero. It's a slider, didn't really slide, up and in, 1-0. From Grass Valley, California, 5'11", 185. Cosumnes River is the school he currently attends. Went to Sac State for a year in 2022. Didn't get a whole lot of opportunity. He shoots this one out into deep right center field. Back goes Brian Duroff. He's looking up. It is out of here. Colby Lunsford. Solo home run in the top of the first inning, and the Crabs strike first early.
Colby Lunsford has pop. It's his second home run of the summer. Hit 8 home runs this last season at Cosumnes River. That one just an oppo taco. Off the end of the bat, it didn't look like it was gone. I thought that, especially to right center, the ball doesn't really carry here, but showing a lot of power, especially the opposite way. Good fastball from Spally on the outside. Probably leaked a little far over the plate, a little too far over the plate, further than what he wanted, but still not a bad spot by any means, just good hitting.
Here's Griffin Myers, left-handed hitting designated hitter. He'll watch a fastball outside. I believe that is the first extra base hit given up by Ryan Spolero this summer.
Yeah, that would check out.
Myers, Washington State University appeared in 4 games, only recorded 1 at bat. Did not, of course, get a hit. This one is fouled back and out of play, 1-1. A lot of question marks in the lineup at the D1 level for the Crabs, but I'd say this summer they're performing pretty well. They lost the first 2 games of the season and have bounced back to win 10 straight. 1-1 outside.
Yeah, that'll play. 10 straight will play. Crawdads, though, won 4 league games straight. They're without a loss in 6 games. We can't say they've won 6 straight because there was that weird tie.
1-1 outside. 3 balls, 1 strike. Griffin Myers, 485, 541, and 727 slash line to start the summer. 1,268 OPS. All that in 8 games. 3-1 offering from Spolero. Fastball down and in, ball 4. So after striking out the leadoff batter in the inning, Spolero has given up a home run and now a walk in the top of the first.
Just looks a little rattled after that home run. That 1-0 fastball from Spolero leaked a little over the heart of the plate, and then he was really unable to find the strike zone against Griffin Myers. Fell behind once again, just unable to rebound.
Here's another red-hot Crab. 500 average, 561 on base, and 765 slugging. It's Billy Ham. Home run, 10 RBIs. First pitch swinging, skies it down the left field line, but that'll reach the trees. Foul, 0-1.
A great bounce back pitch from Ryan Spolero to feed that fastball at the knees. If he sticks down with the fastball that we've seen today, the changeup that we haven't seen really any success with today, but we've seen success with this season, I think this is a good spot to try to get a double play ball, get him out of the inning.
Long look to first. Now Spolero delivers to the plate. It's a changeup hit high to right field, not too deep. Casey Cummings comes in and to his left. He will call off the right fielder Duroff, reach up to make the one-handed catch. It's the second out here in the top of the first.
Again, a good bounce back. He fed the changeup exactly where he wanted it to be there. It was below the knees. Ham did a good job to elevate, stay away from the double play ball, but that pitch is one that'll play.
Here's Luke Reese. Crab shortstop, 7 games, this being the 8th, 31 at-bats, 435, and another OPS above 1,000. First pitch from Spolero in the dirt. Good block by the catcher Button. Throw down to second base, and they got him. Griffin Myers thrown out at second base by Nico Button. The Crabs do get a run on the home run. We go to the bottom half of the first inning. Crawdads taking their first swings. One nothing here at Monte Vista High School. Crabs, Crawdads. Crawdads coming up for their first swings of the afternoon. Let's take a look at the Crabs defense. Outfield, left to right, Luke Brown, Mike McKernan, Wyatt Reginato, Infield third to first, Javier Felix, Luke Reese, Colby Langsford, and Billy Ham. Doing the catching is Kawana Soares for the former Crawdad Gabe Tanner.
Can we call him Crawdad legend Gabe Tanner?
I think we can.
Can and will. Tanner, big 6'4", 220 righty. Hard thrower, about 89, 91 with the fastball. Slider that, when it's on, it's a good pitch. When it's off, it's not. But as is the case with most off-speed pitches, he's a guy that had a good year at Cal State East Bay. Overall numbers aren't great, but was on fire to start and on fire to finish.
Casey Cummings, Brian Duroff, and Cole Fellows, 1, 2, 3 here to start for the Crawdads. First pitch to Casey Cummings, a little bit inside, 1-0. Yesterday, batting out of the 2 spot, went 1 for 3, scored a run, stole a base, also walked. He'll take the 1-0 down and in, 2-0.
One thing about Gabe is he lets the moment get to him sometimes. He's a guy that will work fast, but a little over-aggressive at times.
2-0, runs inside and hits Casey Cummings.
That's what he's known for. That's what both Casey Cummings really at this point and Gabe Tanner are known for. Gabe is going to try to come up and in, especially on right-handed batters. But, hey, the Dads will take that leadoff base runner after giving up a run in the first.
29 walks in 70 innings at Cal State East Bay for Gabe Tanner. Strikeout numbers are there, 78 and 70. Pitched to a 5.5 ERA in his junior season. Throw over to Casey Cummings, but he's back on a dive. Here's Brian Duroff, the right fielder. Kind of been bouncing around the lineup. We've seen him in the 6th spot, 7th spot, and back in the 2nd spot for what feels like the first time in a while. First pitch to him here is outside. Snap throw down to first base, but Casey Cummings is back standing.
Gabe still yet to throw a strike.
Duroff, 333 coming into today, 24 at-bats. This is the 8th game in which he's played. No home runs, 7 RBIs. He's swinging here, skies it out to deep center field. Back goes McKernan. He's looking up. He reaches up just in front of the warning track for the first out. Casey Cummings retreats back to first. There's one away here in the bottom of the first.
Yeah, Duroff gave it a ride there. A good fastball off the outside, a good pitch to hit, and a good pitch for Duroff to hit specifically. He loves going the other way, especially off those fastballs. Took it to deep center field, but as we've seen, the ball is not going to fly here. Mike McKernan, good defensively out there. Put it away without much trouble.
Here's Cole Fellows. 241 average on the year. First pitch swinging. It's a little interesting swing. He almost let go of the bat.
We saw him do that the other day, too. He was the one that let go of the bat completely and threw it into the Crawdads dugout.
He just has... He's got such a good swing and just has not been able to get it going yet. The OPS below 700, didn't play yesterday. 629 OPS. Albeit still young. 0-1 pitch swinging here, but he fouls it back out of play. Nothing in 2.
I think he's just one of the guys that needs a get-right game. Him and Max Farfan in the lineup together at the same time, both of them could really benefit from one good game. A couple good swings can really change the trajectory of a season.
Nothing in 2, 1 out here, bottom of the first inning. Casey Cummings on first 0-2 pitch, a slider outside, 1-2.
There's that slider from Gabe when he tries to backdoor it. Sometimes it doesn't backdoor it, eats him up a little bit.
Ball and 2 strikes. Pitch from Gabe Tanner, fastball down, and that'll even the count. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Good job by Cole to see a couple pitches and
1. And in non-conference, 2 0-1. It's been a while since they've lost a game. Of course, the tie against the Kings.
about a week since they lost their last game. Over a week. Last Tuesday.
3-2 pitch hit into very shallow left field. Moving over is Brown towards the line. He's fighting the wind. He reaches up to make the catch for the second out here in the bottom of the first.
Good at bat, though, by Cole. Saw a lot of pitches. Was able to go relay the information, what he saw in that at bat, back to the dugout.
I'll bring up Matt King. King joined the Crawdads a little bit later in the summer, but has been one of the best hitters. Second best average at 385. Just a 5 for 13 to start the year. A couple of extra base hits. He shoots this one into right field. In comes Reginato. He dives. He's not going to make the catch. It gets by him. McKernan is there to back him up. Casey Cummings goes to third. King will pull it up at first, and runners on the corners for the Crawdads here in the bottom of the first.
Really just a bloop single there. A ball that looked like it was hit pretty hard off the bat, and the wind might have pushed it in a little bit. The dive from Reginato was a little delayed, got past him. And is that another winning number, another win for the Crawdads? Matt King,
is.
Player of the game. We needed to reach base today.
Last game, it was Cam Calvillo.
Did it in his last at bat.
First pitch to Joey Donnelly. He'll take a fastball on the corner for a strike, 0-1. About Cam Calvillo. Injured yesterday. Hurt his wrist. Unclear as to how much time he will be missing, but non-contact injuries are always scary. A little bit outside, 1-1.
Cam, if you're listening, dude, we just hope you're okay, man.
It's really a shame. He was, on fire this summer. 375, had a couple of doubles. Wasn't striking out at all. 1-1 to Donnelly. Outside, 2-1.
And just a good dude.
Very
Easy to
good
be
dude.
around. Fun player to...
Into the trees, foul. We'll do the 2-2 again. The first inning has been one of the best innings for the Crawdads in every game. This year, they've scored 10 runs in the first inning alone, and excluding the ninth, the 2-2 hit on the ground, right side. First baseman Billy Ham gloves it, flips to first in time to get Donnelly out at first. The Crawdads strand runners on the corners, fail to score in the first. We're heading to the top of the second, 1-0. Top of the second inning, it's the Crabs 1, Crawdads none on the Crawdads Broadcast Network. Ryan Spolero back on the bump for his second inning of work, facing Luke Reese, swinging at the first pitch he sees. Straight back and out of play, 0-1. Spolero gave up the 1 run in the top of the first, struck out 1. It was the home run from Colby Lunsford, he's been on a tear to start the year. Luke Reese will watch a changeup that misses a little bit low. Reese, another guy that's been on fire to start the summer, 435, 548, 565 slash line. 1-1 pitch from Spolero, fastball that misses up and out. Command has not really been there for Spolero. One from the right-hander. Here it is. It's a fastball hit up the middle, past the dive of Griffin Harrison and into right center field. Duroff will cut it off, and a leadoff single for Luke Reese.
It's a tweener. It's an in-betweener to Griffin Harrison. Just a ball that he taps his chest. He says, "That's my bad." It's a ball that he probably could have gotten to on the line if he had charged it as soon as he saw the ball off the bat, and then instead waited for that second hop, didn't get the body in front of it, and made it pretty impossible to make a play.
Here's Wyatt Reginato, right fielder, left-handed hitter. First pitch from Ryan Spolero, swung on and missed. Looked like a changeup down below the zone. Reginato, I'm going to sound like a broken record, but has been on fire for the Crabs. 484, 610, 677 slash line.
Reginato looks like he's swinging a metal bat. Like, that does not look like wood.
Nothing in one. Another changeup. This one down and in the dirt. 1-1.
Do you agree?
It definitely is a metal bat. I would think.
Like, there's no way that is wood. Guy on deck swinging a wood bat. Guy in the hole swinging a wood bat. So maybe this is just wood with...
We'll find out once contact is made, I guess. 1-1. Catches the corner. Good slider from Spolero. 1-2.
It's pretty easily the most fans we've had here this year. And I think, ironically, it's a bunch of Crabs fans. Making the drive down from Humboldt is impressive.
2-2 from Ryan Spolero, set at the waist, now delivers in a fastball tapped in front of the mound. Spolero barehands it, throws to second base on a hop, but sliding in safe is Luke Reese. Everybody's safe. On the
Just a
fielder's
fielder's choice. Fielder's choice. Both runners reach. That's just a little bit of a bonehead.
Make the hero play, reached up, made a really nice play with the bare hand, and I think the throw was the problem. Kind of just spiked it straight into the ground and allowed Luke Reese to slide in safely. Here's Javier Felix, the third baseman. Swinging at the first pitch he sees on the ground. Farfan flips to second for one. Griffin Harrison to first in time. A double play. Luke Reese will advance to third base. But I think that Spolero and the Crawdads will take the 5-4-3 double play.
Yeah, absolutely. First pitch swing from Javier Felix, who's also, again, we sound like a broken record, had a good summer. Just getting him to reach out and roll over on that pitch to the left side. Farfan, who really hasn't seen the field much, doing a good job over at third.
Here's left-handed hitter Luke Brown. He'll take a strike, 0-1. Playing side. Modesto Junior College transfer, hit .292 in 2020. 65 at-bats. Only struck out 6 times. Had 20 RBIs, 4 stolen bases. This one hit on the ground up the middle. Here's Matt King ranging to his left. Throw from behind the second base bag in time. So Crabs get a couple of runners on, but Spolero helped out by the double play. We're going to the bottom of the second inning. Still 1-0. Six, 7, 8 due up for the Crawdads here in the bottom of the second inning. It's the Crabs 1, Crawdads nothing here at Monte Vista High School. Farfan, Button, and Finney are the 3. Farfan got a day off yesterday and has struggled on the season. First pitch to him, fastball runs inside. 0-9-1. A couple of extra base hits, but that's about it.
Literally it.
Swinging here, taps it behind home plate.
2 hits, both extra base variety. He's got the power. He had a good season at UIC, now in the portal. But a lot of talent from this guy, just looking to put it together.
1-1 from Gabe Tanner. Right-hander deals a slider outside, 2-1.
That's the pitch from Gabe. When it's working, slider's good. When he's throwing it to righties outside more, I think he has more success with it.
2-1. Fastball, top of the zone, taken, 3-1.
Great take by Farfan. 2-1, you're thinking fastball, you're looking fastball, and you're looking to elevate, but he's able to spit on it and get in an even better hitter's count.
I'd almost like to see him get aggressive here on this 3-1. If it's in the zone, attack. You know, it's been a... Did a good job of working out of a jam back in the first inning. Runners on the corners, 2 away. He's able to get a ground out from Joey Donnelly. He'll throw over to first base, but back safely is Max Farfan.
Came against the West Coast Kings, just a line drive single up the middle to tie the game in the 9th. Just gets on base a lot.
1-0. Taken at the knees, called strike, 1-1. Yeah, he's getting on base at about a 400 clip, which for a guy with a 154 batting average, you'll take that. 13 at-bats. He's got 5 walks. This one is hit out into shallow left field. Luke Brown, the left fielder, stumbled, still running in, sliding, and makes the catch. So a nice recovery in left field from Luke Brown. That's the first out here in the second.
Yeah, I thought there was just none chance when he fell into that stumble to make the play to recover, but a great job there. Tough play either way, even if he hadn't stumbled, just sprinting towards the line.
Here's Emmett Finney, DH, hitting 200 on the season. Another guy has immense amounts of power, but haven't seen it quite yet. First pitch from Gabe Tanner. He's swinging and missing. 0-1.
He was trying to pull that ball into the trees, but it was a fastball off the outside.
0-1 from Tanner. Another fastball. This one outside, but called a strike. 0-2. Finney didn't look like he liked the call.
It was in the same spot as his first swing, so Tanner went back there.
Tanner comes set, now delivers a slider right down the middle. A 3-pitch strikeout for out number 2. Finney goes down looking. It's the first strikeout for Tanner. And here comes Griffin Harrison.
Yeah, when he's able to.
Starting to stop from Farfan on first. Harrison fouls back the first pitch he sees. 0-1.
It's called a start, a stop, and a smile from Max Farfan.
Quick.
Just a huge grin after he gets off the first base bag. You like that?
Another throw over. Farfan standing maybe about 3 feet off the bag.
Give or take.
Just steps right back on it.
He's not going anywhere.
No stolen bases on the limited times he's been on base this year. 0-1 up high to Harrison, 1-1. Harrison is going to get a lot more playing time with the injury to Cam Calvillo. He was the replacement for Calvillo yesterday. First pitch he saw in a 1-2 count. Lined one up the middle. He lines this one down the third base line. A foul ball.
Gotten a little more consistent with that swing. The ball up the middle yesterday was a really hard hit ball, straight up the box.
4 for 17 to start the year, 235, but it's gotten progressively better, I would say. He's also walked 3 times. 2-2 pitch fouled off the catcher's face mask. We'll do the 2-2 again.
Is there any backing behind that, or is that just a guess?
I play a lot of
I
golf.
was just going to say, you might know.
I play a lot of
as a
golf, so
guy.
I do know. Believe it or not.
I believe it, somehow.
1-2 from Gabe Tanner. Slider swung on and missed. Gabe Tanner strikes out back-to-back Crawdads. The Crawdads strand the leadoff walk. We're heading to the top of the third. It's 1-0 Crabs on the Crawdad Broadcast Network. 9-1-2 for the Crabs. It'll be Kavana Suarez hitting out of the 9 spot and doing the catching. And a 1-run game. Ryan Spolero back on the bump for his 3rd inning of work. He'll flip in a curveball in there for a strike, 0-1.
Seen a little more curve than slider today from Spal, even though it looked like his slider.
0-1. Another off speed. This one catches the corner quickly ahead, 0-2.
Love the spot.
Did a better job in the 2nd inning. Got some weak contact. Helped out by a double play ball. This one swung on and missed. It's the 2nd strikeout of the day for Ryan Spolero, the 1st out here in the 3rd inning.
And he was able to curve the first 2, and that one looked more like a slider that kind of just darted. Had a little more slide than drop to it, but a good pitch nonetheless.
It'll bring up Mike McKernan. He's a victim of the struck out the first at-bat of the game. This one from Spolero, another curveball, so 4 pitches in the inning, 4 off-speed pitches for a strike.
Another Ryan warming up in the Crawdads bullpen. Ryan Featherston, 29.
0-1. Here's a fastball fouled back, 0-2. So Spolero doing a nice job this inning at least, pounding the zone. 5 pitches, 5 strikes, and just as I was saying, he did a lot better job in the 2nd inning, pounding the zone. Some contact was made, but once he's working the zone like this, he's going to get the swing and misses. 0-2 from Spolero. Runs inside and hits McKernan. Looked like it got him on the shoulder. So after a strikeout to start the top of the 3rd, a hit by pitch puts a runner on base.
Yeah, we were both thinking it, I think. We were both ready to see the immaculate inning.
I was.
I think when you get to
was.
5 in a row, that's when you start like at least thinking about it. Same with like a perfect game or a no-hitter, right? You get through 5 innings and you're like, okay, this is like
there's a legit chance
it's happening. Things are happening.
Here's Colby Lunsford, second baseman, hit an opposite field home run on the 2nd pitch he saw. Goes around half-heartedly at this one, 0-1.
Just a fantastic pitch from Spolero there. His off-speed pitch this inning has been great.
Looks like he's using a mix of what looks to be a slider, a curveball, and a couple of changeups as well. Only 2 fastballs now, I guess. 0-1 is the corner yet again, 0-2.
Love it. I love that he's staying composed in the zone, even though he's working from the stretch from the first time this inning after getting ahead. Both batters 0-2.
Here is the 0-2 pitch. It is a fastball hit in the air, right field. Duroff charging in, lot of room. He cannot make the catch. It'll drop foul in the Crawdad bullpen.
Great hustle by both Brian Duroff and Griffin Harrison. Joey Donnelly stayed at first base.
What a first baseman should do. Just stay on first base.
Yeah. When I was playing first base, I wouldn't have ran for that ball.
No. Good effort, but we'll do the 0-2 again. A lot of strikes in the inning for Spolero. The 1 ball hit McKernan. 0-2, slider popped up again, right side. Harrison moving back into very, very shallow right field, maybe a couple steps in the outfield grass. He'll make the catch, the 2nd out here in the 3rd.
Great job bouncing back from that hit by pitch by Ryan Spolero, who has gotten better as the game has gone on. The home run to Lunsford in the 1st inning was followed by a walk, but got some help from his defense, really helped by his defense in the 2nd inning. It seems like when he knows that his defense is completely on his side, he's been more successful.
Here's Griffin Myers, the designated hitter who walked in his last at-bat. Runner goes at first base. Pitch is called a strike. Throw down to second base is in time. Nico Button guns down Mike McKernan at second base for the 3rd out here in the 3rd inning. The Crabs don't score. We're going to the bottom of the 3rd inning, 1-0. back after giving up a home run to the second batter he faced. Casey Cummings got hit by a pitch and reached third base back in the first. Facing Gabe Tanner, who's back out for his third inning of work. Bends in a slider that catches the corner for a called strike, 0-1.
Gabe told me before the game, yeah, I can go 5-6 innings if I'm efficient.
0-1, hit on the ground, left side. Luke Reese, the shortstop, to his left, throws in time to first base, the first out here in the third inning.
And if he keeps pitching like this, especially to bounce back from a shaky start, he could go 6.
Bounced, I mean, you can't really say bounced back, but he was a little all over the place in the first inning and done a nice job. He picked up 2 strikeouts in the second. And now we'll face Brian Doroff, who flew out to center field, pretty deep center field, back in the first inning. First pitch from Tanner, good slider in there for a strike, 0-1. So for the Crawdads, excluding the game in which they scored in every inning but the 9th against the Stompers, as the 0-1 crushed down the third base line but fell. The first inning has been the best. They've scored 10 runs in the first inning of ball games all season, and in innings 2 through 5, 15. 0-2, poked left side, past the dive of both Felix and Reese. It'll reach left field, a 1-out base hit for Brian Doroff.
Hey, it doesn't matter how you do it as long as you're getting on base. The Crawdads are feeling good, and that's what Brian Doroff has done all summer, hitting close to 400. He has been really good at doing things just like that.
It's just the second hit of the day for the Crawdads, and that'll bring up the left fielder, Cole Fellows. Fellows 0 for 1, flew out to his counterpart in left field. First pitch, he's swinging, he fouls the fastball back into the screen, 0-1. Gabe Tanner does not like the call.
Yeah, it was close. A little too close for comfort for BD.
0-1 to Cole Fellows. Fastball at the knees, called a strike, 0-2. So for the second straight batter, Gabe Tanner. He goes to first base in time for the third out of the third inning. Crawdads get a hit. Oh, it's the second out. Ahead of myself.
A little bit.
Just brutal.
Happens.
It's just brutal. Here's Matt King. He had the first single of the day for the Crawdads. Doroff on second.
Really well right now.
0-1 pitch, fastball, catches the corner for a called strike, 0-2.
It is a very wide zone from Robert Headley behind the plate.
And that's 3 straight 0-2 counts for Gabe Tanner. Infield, outfield, straight up. Doroff not being held on too tightly at second base. Here's the 0-2, chopped on the ground left side. Luke Reese goes to his right. Cross diamond throw is nowhere close. It'll be an infield single for Matt King. Doroff advances to third and runners on the corners for the Crawdads.
2 for 2 day for Matt King. That'll play. Doesn't matter how hard he hits the ball if he's getting on base.
That'll bring up Joey Donnelly. Grounded out softly back to first base in the first. Throw to first, but back safely is Matt King.
He wasn't even off the first base bag. Gabe doesn't want to face Joey Donnelly. That's what it is.
First pitch to Donnelly, fastball inside. Yeah, Matt King, 1 stolen base. I believe it was yesterday.
Yep. A steal of home.
Yeah. 1-0 in the dirt. Good block. 2 balls, no strikes. So, it seems like no matter what, he's throwing over at least once.
He knows he's a little slow to the plate as well.
2-0 to Donnelly. Long hold now comes to the plate. Fastball tapped behind the mound, 2-1. Runners on the corners, 2 away here in the bottom of the 3rd inning. 2-1 to Donnelly is outside, 3-1.
Good at bat from Joey again. He worked along at bat in his first at bat, saw 5 pitches, ended it with a tapper by Brian Duroff. A soft ground out to the right side by Cole Fellows. And then, again, we sound like a broken record, but a ground ball through the left side for Matt King. Just some bad luck for him this inning.
That'll bring up Max Farfan, who could use some bad luck going his way. He'll take a walk in his second, but he could take a broken bat single and be extremely, extremely happy, especially here with the bases loaded and 2 outs. First pitch from Gabe Tanner, a little bit high, 1-0.
He would take that. He would take a broken bat dumper. He would take a ground ball that gets through.
1-0. Hit on the ground, high chopper. Third baseman Javier Felix cuts it off, throws to first just in time. The Crawdads load the bases but do not score with 2 outs. We're going to the top of the 4th inning. It's still 1-0 Crabs on the Walnut Creek Crawdad Broadcast Network.
Welcome back to the Walnut Creek Crawdad Streaming Network here from Danville, California. Austin Oda, Carson Mercier on the call. And this call to the bullpen is brought to you by NorCal Oaks. The NorCal Oaks is a non-profit organization dedicated to developing skilled players who want to excel in the game of baseball and softball while attaining strong character and life skills in a fun and non-league play. A 3.60 ERA, 5 strikeouts to 5 hits in 5 innings. First pitch he throws is a fastball fouled off to the left from Griffin Myers, who is 0 for 0 today. He was thrown out trying to steal second on a pitch that just trickled away from Nico Button in the first inning and then was up to bat when Nico Button threw out Mike McKernan in the last inning. He flips an 0-1 fastball off to the left, 0-2. Final line for the starting pitcher, Ryan Spolero. He was good. Not a chance to notch his second win, but 3 innings, 2 hits, a run. It was earned, a walk, 2 strikeouts. The 0-2. Fastball tapped to the left side, but foul.
Good job from Featherston here coming into the game, getting ahead early. 0-2, pound the strike zone. Now let's see if he can get the job done.
No balls, 2 strikes, no outs. Featherston from the windup, kicks and deals. A chopper to the first base side. Joey Donnelly will scoop it up in foul territory, and we'll do the 0-2 again. Featherston very old school with his motion. Rocks the hands over the top of his head. Long, slow, methodical delivery. Sets out the belt. Now peers in, brings the glove just under the chin. And the 0-2. Change up, line to the right side, foul.
Clean that thing out. He was sitting something else. Got the slider, wanted the fastball. Good job just getting the barrel to that one.
No balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Featherston nods his head, nods again, now agrees with Button. The 0-2. Line to center field, shallow. Casey Cummings sprinting in, but it's the shortstop, Matt King, that reaches out and secures the soft liner. So a good start for Ryan Featherston.
yeah, come into the game, pound the strike zone. We saw Spolero was struggling a little bit early in his outing. He came in the third and kind of switched it up, got a 1-2-3 with quotations with the caught stealing. But he looked a lot better when you're pounding the zone. It's just going to do good things for you.
First pitch to Billy Ham is a tapper to the right side. Griffin Harrison goes into a dive but can't make the play. And Ham's going to be on first with a 1-for-2 start to his day after he flew out to center field in his first at-bat.
First pitch swinging, and sometimes it doesn't take a ball that's hit all that hard. This one, 4-hopper through the right side of the infield. Harrison plays good second base defense and just out of his range.
Harrison and King will be in double play depth. Luke Reese, the shortstop, hitting 1-for-1 today. First pitch is a fastball at the base of the zone, 0-1. Featherston, 3 batters, 3 first pitch strikes. It's pretty good.
That'll play.
The 0-1. Up high with a fastball, 1-1.
Who doesn't love Ryan Featherston? Fastball, 93 miles an hour, top of the zone. Now he can do so, I mean, yes, it's a ball, but you can do so much missing there. You can break off a slider, go to a changeup, go back to that fastball up.
1-1, slider off the outside. Good snag by Button behind the plate, 2-1.
Went to that slider, just yanked it a little bit into the left-handed batter's box.
2 balls, 1 strike, 1 out. Runner on first. Dads trail 1-0. Featherston, the 2-1. Fastball down and away, 3-1.
All right, you've thrown a few balls consecutively here. Now it's time to bounce back. Get yourself a ground ball. Nothing that's been hit has been hit all that hard.
3-1. Fastball low, ball 4. So a 5-pitch walk after I said he was throwing strikes, getting ahead early. 4 straight balls. That'll bring up Wyatt Reginato, who reached on a fielder's choice, a ball that was a high tapper back to Ryan Spolero in the first inning. Tried to barehand it and throw to second with the runner on first, and both ends beat it out. So he's 0-for-1. First pitch, down and tight, 1-0.
I think we jinxed
Yeah.
Ryan
First pitch
Featherston
strikes.
pretty heavy.
I feel like we've been pretty solid on the reverse broadcast jinx this summer.
Yeah.
The 1-0. Down and in, 2-0.
Wow.
So
We're terrible.
6 straight balls. This is completely our fault.
Ryan Featherston can't throw a strike. He just can't throw a strike.
The 2-0. Grounded to the first base side, foul.
All right. Now we're back.
Comes set at the belt. Now looks to second and delivers. Grounded to the first base side. Joey Donnelly scoops it up on the forehand. Takes it to the bag himself. Both runners advance. It looks like he'll go from the stretch. First pitch on its way to Javier Felix. Slider off the outside, 1-0. Felix grounded into a 5-4-3 double play on the first pitch he saw in his last at-bat. Runners on second and third, 2 outs, the 1-0. Slider just outside, 2-0. It's a pitch that's been called close to a strike today.
Yeah, it's a good job by Featherston. I mean, that's a good pitch. It's got a lot of break, a lot of action on that thing. Just a little bit out. Says, load the bases, and if, another walk and a run would score, so that's not an ideal situation.
3-0 fastball down the pipe, 3-1.
Now get the job done with something special here.
3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Runners on second and third, 1-0 the score. Featherston trying to keep it there. The 3-2. Fastball on the outside, called strike 3. Featherston punches out his first and strands 2 runners on. No runs, a hit, no errors. They do leave 2 runners on base. We'll head to the bottom of the 4th, 1-0. The Crabs lead. Bottom of the 4th inning. Crawdads looking to score some runs against an old friend. Gabe Tanner heads back to the bump. 7, 8, 9, Nico Button, Emmett Finney, Griffin Harrison, a combined 0 for 3 with the 3 of them, as the first pitch to Nico Button is a fastball that's spiked, 1-0.
Tanner has done a really, really nice job. He's gotten himself into some trouble, got himself out of some trouble. He's doing it with all pitches, fastballs.
1-0 is called.
He's impressed today.
The 2-1. Button lines it to left center field. That's going to drop in the gap and get all the way to the wall on 2 hops. He's around first, heading for second as Brown picks it up in the alleyway. His long throws cut off by the shortstop Reese, and Nico buttons into second with a stand-up double to lead off the bottom of the 4th.
I don't think that there's a better swing in baseball than a lefty going into the left center gap, and it's exactly what Nico Button did right there. Fastball, outer half, take it that way. Beautiful swing from Button. And he continues to put some good swings on baseballs here.
You could argue he should be 2 for 2 today, a ball that just didn't drop as fast as we thought it would in its first at-bat back in the 2nd. Here's Emmett Finney. First pitch, Finney takes way high and tight. Brushes him back, 1-0. Finney 0 for 1 with a strikeout. Tanner has been good with his pitch count, just 56 as the 1-0. Finney takes up high and tight and runs in and hits him. 2 hit by pitches. Gabe's going to look to the home plate umpire and say he leaned into it, but I don't think so.
He's asking for a little bit too much there. I mean, Finney, late reaction, sure, but he definitely made an attempt to get out of the way.
Brent Cummings has shown a propensity to bunt in situations like this. We'll see, not as late in the game as we've seen some of these situations lately, but we'll see if he decides to bunt here. 1-0, Crawdads trail, bottom of the 4th inning, no outs. Acts from second, the show goes into the shortstop Reese, who cuts it up.
Run a fastball on the corner and did a good job to elevate it to the opposite field. That's enough for Button to tag, get a runner in scoring position for one of the game's best hitters.
Here's Casey Cummings, an 0 for 1 day, hit by a pitch in his first at-bat and grounded into just a regular ground out. His last at-bat to shortstop, so he's 0 for 1 officially. Pickoff move back in at first is Harrison. Surprise, surprise. Runners on the corners. We'll see if Harrison's active. First pitch. Cummings swings and misses. A good changeup. Just fell off the table, 0-1.
Wouldn't be surprised to see Harrison take off and maybe Nico Button go on the throw down to second base as well. Create some chaos on the bases.
0-1. Cummings taps it foul off to the left. 0-2.
I think in an 0-2 count, that might be a little less likely.
Brian Duroff and his bat-to-ball skills on deck. Here, though, it's 0-2 to Casey Cummings. Tanner sets and deals. Slider at the knees, called strike 3. Gabe Tanner is rolling today.
Well, how you like your pizza? Because Casey Cummings just got frozen. Slider there, right down the middle. Just a tough pitch.
Tanner, that slider for a strikeout has been great for him. His 3rd strikeout of the day. Here's Brian Duroff. Runners on the corners, 2 outs. Best scoring chance of the day for the Crawdads. Duroff takes a slider, wraps to the same spot, 0-1.
And that's what I'm talking about there. Gabe Tanner doing a good job getting ahead with multiple pitches, the slider and the fastball.
0-1. Swing and a miss on the slider off the outside, 0-2. Big Red, Gabe Tanner. He's doing his thing. No balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs with runners on the corners, a 1-run game. The former teammates at Chabot and teammates with the Crawdads facing off against each other in the 4th. The 0-2. Slider tapped foul off to the left.
The trifecta of sliders in this at-bat, back to back to back. And Duroff, a good job, staying alive, getting a piece.
Something's happening, not sure what it is. Home plate umpire is out with his mask off. He gets some new balls, and they didn't have baseballs. It's a difficult way to play the sport.
Makes it tough.
It's in the name. Nico Button led off the inning with a double, was moved to 3rd on the Griffin Harrison flyout. Emmett Finney was hit by a pitch. Casey Cummings struck out looking. Brian Duroff here in an 0-2 hole. Gabe Tanner and the home plate umpire jawing about something.
It's about Tanner licking his fingers and grabbing his hat. I believe that's what it is.
1-2. Did they call it free ball? Something. It's a ball and 2 strikes. Runners on the corners. The 1-2. Slider tapped off to the left.
More sliders and more Brian Duroff protect swing.
BD's fighting.
More pitches he sees, the more I like his chances. So he can keep working here, get something hittable. These are great pitches by Gabe Tanner, but an even better job by Brian Duroff to just make contact.
The 0-2. Slider checked at. No swing. 2-2.
That's
in the dirt.
That's a pitch that Duroff swung at earlier in this at-bat, and so I think he's starting to pick up on that slider a little bit more. I'm not sure how many more you can throw.
Strikeouts of his former Crawdads and Chabot teammates will head to the top of the 5th, 1-0. The Crawdads trail. Top of the 5th inning, Ryan Featherston back out to the bump. Here on the Walnut. The Crabs lead the Crawdads in the battle of the Crustacean Nation. The 0-1. High fly ball left center field in the park. Cole Fellows left fielder retreated back but now comes in, reaches up with the left hand and squeezes it for out number 1.
What did you call it?
The battle of the Crustacean Nation.
That is crazy.
Would it be the battle for the Crustacean Nation?
No, I don't know.
Do you not like it?
I don't even know what it means.
Crustacean, like animal with, what do you call those? I used to call them
Claws?
grabber nabbers. Yeah, claws. Thank you. Here's Cavanasaurus. First pitch fastball on the outer black, 0-1. I know on our website it says "Welcome to the Crustacean Nation."
Does it?
I'm a big fan of that. I
I
guess you're not. The
no.
0-1. Fastball flown foul off to the right. Andy Mack is not a fan. Justin DeHaas is a fan.
I like it. I definitely don't hate it.
The 0-2. Slider tapped to second base. Griffin Harrison scoops it up on the carpet, tosses over to first, and retires the second batter of the fifth.
It just surprised me a little bit, I think. I was not expecting that.
I've always been a big fan of, like, inserting stupid dad jokes into the broadcast, stuff like that, but I've never been one to plan out a line. Like, I think that's super cheesy. That is the only line that I've actually had planned. Here's the top of the lineup, Mike McKernan. 0 for 1. First pitch. McKernan takes a slider off the outside, 1-0.
It's definitely solid.
It's fine.
Yeah, I mean, it is what it is.
The 1-0. McKernan takes a slider in the same spot, 2-0. 1-0 Crabs. Love a good pitcher's duel. 2-0. Fastball. Fly to the right side. Foul over by the trees. Over by my car. 2-1.
We've kind of been spoiled by a lot of offense recently. It's nice to see these two teams
2-1. Slider low.
go into the fifth with only run being scored. I mean, there's not a lot going on.
Dylan McShane will have some more work as the ball boy for today. Very, very excited to see Dylan McShane pitch.
I expect you to be thrilled
Yeah.
on that.
Really weird time to introduce yourself to teammates.
It's a very, very, very tough,
Like, hey, I'm Dylan. By the way, I'm 6'9".
which is ironic.
I was gonna say it, but I didn't want to be the one to do it. First pitch to Colby Lunsford is a fastball down and away, 1-0.
It is what it is.
Sophie's gonna do her thing. All the love to our wonderful director of PR, Sophie Arroyo. The 1-0 to Lunsford. It's a fastball line foul. Oh no, Tracy's brought out the gun. Tracy has the bubble gun ready. Sorry, I gotta give a little more there.
Yeah, that was crazy.
Bubble gun. She's hiding it, though. A ball and a strike to Lunsford. Who's the difference in this game right now? A home run in the first inning. He spits on a slider off the outside, 2-1.
How often do we see guys go to the opposite field? Right-handed hitters especially. I don't think it happens all that often. The only home run in Monte Vista that went to the opposite field, I think, was Ryan Brome.
Yep. 2-1. Runner goes from first. Pitches off the outside. Button's throw to second is way up high. Harrison with his hops can't get to it. Bounces off the body of Casey Cummings in center field. Out of 3 steal attempts today, that's the first that Nico Button hasn't been perfect on.
And that right there is the good old-fashioned yip. His throws it straight over the head of Griffin Harrison and into center field.
3 balls and a strike to Colby Lunsford, 1 for 2, that home run, and also popped out to second base. Feathy looks to second, now to the plate, second again, and the 3-1. Down low, ball 4.
Back-to-back walks after retiring the first 2 batters of the inning. I know Brant Cummings hates walks. I cannot imagine he's very happy with how this inning has kind of unraveled.
A fun arm in the bullpen right now for the Crawdads. It's number 15. It's Owen Firestone, who we've seen behind the plate. He told me yesterday, I didn't really pitch much until I got to slow. Threw a bullpen. All of a sudden, dude's up to 92. Here's Griffin Myers. First pitch to Myers is tapped foul. Back into the right, 0-1. Myers 0 for 1, pop out in his thrown out, trying to steal second in his first at bat. Ooh, that was rough.
Been there. Been there today.
The 0-1. Myers taps it back to the mound. Over the head of Featherston. That's going to be a tough play. Harrison scoops. Will throw to first a little low, and it's not in time anyway. Myers beats it out. A high chopper back to the mound, and just no play was able to be made.
It's got to be an infield single there for Myers, and another one of these balls for the Crabs that's not hit all that hard.
Base hit in front of Duroff. He's up with it. The throw's going to come in to Donnelly, who tries to cut it off, gets past him, all the way to Nico Button, who goes into a slide up the third base line. 2 runs come home to score on the 2-run single by Billy Ham. It's 3-0 Crabs.
It's a good swing attack for the Crabs.
That'll bring up the shortstop Luke Reese. 3-0 Humboldt leads. And what honestly feels like a dominant 3-0 so far. They've had more base traffic. 0-1. Side, a ball and a strike. At a 3-run ball game. Ham on first, Griffin Myers on second. The 1-2. Slider tapped left side over past third base coaching box 2. The Crabs dugout will stay at 1-2. A duck on the mound, geese flying above him on the field.
Is it the biggest rivalry in all of animals?
Nah. Maybe.
I don't like geese.
I don't really like ducks either. The 1-2. Slider tapped foul. We'll do it again. I was attacked by a duck this year.
Talk about ironic. The duck does not like ducks.
Well, it's better than like a sun devil or a wolverine or whatever a gaucho is.
I don't know what a gaucho is, but I'm not a gaucho, so I won't.
1-2. Fastball just a little low. 2-2. Whatever a vaquero is.
Just a cowboy?
Is it?
Yeah.
I was a matador in high school. For 4 years, I still don't really know what a matador was.
I don't know. CSUN, they're the Matadors.
Yeah.
Not sure what they are.
2-2. Fastball crushed to center field. Casey Cummings going back. It'll drop in front of him, fall into the gap, and he kicks it. Goes off his left leg and kicks off 2 Cole Fellows. 1-run scores. Billy Ham around third, headed for the plate. He scores. It's 5-0.
Well, a great swing from Luke Reese. Loud contact, more loud contact, and a little unfortunate for the Crawdads and Ryan Featherston. Casey Cummings just booted it. Quite literally booted that ball. And it looks like
single and an E8. Excuse me. Brent Cummings is going to head out to the bump. Owen Firestone's going to come into the game. A tough luck inning for Ryan Featherston. When we come back, Owen Firestone makes his pitching debut here on the Walnut Creek Crawdads streaming network.